We are ready to start back. Hello.
Let's get started.
We're ready to go, guys. Thank you. Our next presenter is Stefan Weiss of Aniluxx Biotechnology. He's going to tell us about the pet world. Yeah, horses more specifically. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you. Well, thank you all for coming. It's a pleasure. So, for those of you who are dog owners, this probably is not an unfamiliar picture. This is the story of the 14 million dogs every year in the United States who are diagnosed with recalcitrant itching. A problem that not only the dog suffers from, but so does the dog's family members, because it keeps both the dog and his or her family members up at night, itching, scratching, barking, tearing out his or her hair. It's about the fact that 95% of owners consider their pets family, which means they are willing to do almost anything to help their animals. Oddly enough, it's a situation where we have the current US healthcare system in a crisis where nobody wants to spend any money, and yet pet owners will spend a lot of money on their animals and not worry about whether their managed care company covers it, prior authorizations, deductibles, etc. I see a lot of nods, so it means there have been people who have been in the vet's office recently and got a very large bill. So what Aniluxx seeks to do is to deliver the same transformational medicines for our pets that we want for ourselves. Current systemic treatments are fraught with problems. Gastric ulcers, infection, right dorsal colitis, kidney dysfunction, immunosuppression, all of the things that we would never want for ourselves when we evaluate a medicine, all of the things we hear about on television, commercial after commercial after commercial for the pharmaceutical companies for human drugs, this is what we're giving to our pets because of the difficulty of administering topical medicines. Topical medicines have the advantage of not having those side effects because they are not systemically absorbed. The problem with topical medicines is go rub a cream or an ointment on a dog, a cat, or a horse. Again, I'm seeing laughter because somebody in this room has been told to do that by their vet. They look at them like they have 3 heads. Clearly what we can see is the research has shown that in dogs, most available topical glucocorticoid products are lotions, ointments, or creams that are impractical to use. So what happens? We give pills and shots. The same pills and shots we would give ourselves to treat dermatologic diseases of the immune system that are immunosuppressive and have that increased risk of infection. So our solution is a best-in-class technology platform for the delivery of first-in-class therapeutics. Essentially, what we are seeking to do is take known, proven actives and just deliver them in a way that is more patient-friendly. So the platform vehicle that we have developed spreads more evenly. So as you can see, if you were to put an ointment on the back of a dog and try to spread it, you would start here maybe at the hind legs, and by the time you got to the neck area, most of the medicine would be gone. Whereas with our vehicle, you get a constant spread from back to front, meaning you're going to cover the entire area of the body with the medicine that you need to treat. So if the dog is itching all along the spinal column, you can guarantee that the neck will get as much treatment as the back. So our first product concept, Aniluxx 101, is a repurposed human active that has been around for almost 30 years, approved in an ointment vehicle for individuals as young as age 3 months. So we are not worried about the safety or the efficacy of the active pharmaceutical ingredient. We already have 12-month stability at 25 degrees. The formulation is specifically claimed in a US patent application, which gives us exclusivity until 2038. So why enter animal health? Well, animal health is a large, growing market, where US consumers have spent almost $62.8 billion in 2016, an increase of 63% over the last decade. Now, what's interesting is not the fact that we spent almost $16 billion on veterinary care, it's that we spent $370 million on Halloween costumes. I mean, clearly there is no shortage of disposable income that is going to our pets. And the reality is we are spending it not only on healthcare, but on making sure that our Instagram feeds have really cute photos. So let's take pruritus, so itching. So the US addressable market, 12.6 million available dogs with this problem, at an estimated market spend of $600 million. So that is the area that we are looking to penetrate. The commercial opportunity, as we see it conservatively, would be at $50 million in peak sales at year 4. And the key differential, as I stated earlier, with pet medicine versus human medicine is you do not go to Walgreens and are told, this is not covered. Your doctor needs to submit something else. It's a $300 copay. We need a prior authorization. Basically, you go into the veterinarian's office, as some of you may know, the vet recommends a particular therapeutic, and you buy it right at that spot. So the medicines cost less to develop, they cost less to you as the consumer, but there's no intermediary that you have to deal with. So what's our current market comparison? So we look at our product here in the beginning, Aniluxx 101, approved for marketing in the US. Our competitors would be other gels, lotions, and creams, as well as systemic therapy. What we're looking to develop and prove to the product is a proven pharmacological ingredient with no systemic side effects, easy to apply, spreads evenly, disappears into the skin quickly, non-greasy, non-staining, non-drying, and no residue. No need to shave the affected area and can't be licked, rubbed, or scratched off. Clearly, it is a vehicle that is made for the hair-bearing areas of the pets. As I said, unlike human medicine, you don't worry about generic penetration, you don't worry about managed care formularies, you don't worry about government payers, and you don't worry about value-based care initiatives, but you have true brand loyalty. If you service the pets well, the veterinarians will like your product and continue to use it. You're not worried about generic encroachment like we are in the branded pharmaceutical world of human medicine. M&A activity constantly is increasing within the animal space. Zoetis, when it gets split off from Pfizer, was the second largest IPO after Facebook. Elanco then shortly did it afterwards with Eli Lilly, buying both Novartis Animal Health for about $5 billion and recently announced the purchase of Bayer Animal Health for $7 billion. So clearly there's a lot of activity in the financial markets within the animal health space. Our product specifically will complement Zoetis' atopic dermatitis profile of Apoquel and Cytopoint, which are two immunosuppressive medicines, Apoquel being an oral JAK kinase inhibitor, and Cytopoint an injectable IL-31 inhibitor. The team currently is myself. I'm actually a physician in human medicine by training and realized all the advantages and the problems that we were having in human medicine could be translated very easily to the veterinary space, again, without a lot of the headache that you would have from pharmaceutical development. And an individual, David Bledsoe, VP of Clinical Development, who has 10 plus years of experience within the veterinary development space. Our scientific advisory board includes Richard Bukta, founder of Formulitica, is an expert in formulation chemistry, and Petra Bizakova, who's a veterinary dermatologist here at NC State. We're now looking to raise a $500 million seed financing to accomplish our first in species efficacy, market analysis, and pharmacokinetics, getting us to our IND filing. Thus, in short, animal health is a growing market with favorable economics, not needing to worry about reimbursement pressures or PBMs. An effective, easy-to-use topical vehicle would be well received within the animal health community. As all of you who have pets know, creams, ointments, and gels are impossible to get on without getting them on the couch, the clothing, the children, the carpet. I have a proven record of developing known actives in new vehicles on the human medicine space and have partnered with a lot of great advisors and experts. Thus, our ask is for investors or strategics with an interest in animal health or individuals and philanthropies focused on pet health and wellness. With that, I thank you and I open up to questions.
Thank you, that was very interesting. Just a very basic question. Last night I was out walking and I saw somebody walking two large dogs. One of them had extremely long hair and one of them had extremely short hair. How do you deal with that? How do you get that into the dogs that have the long hair?
Sure. So the key to the vehicle is actually that it does penetrate the hair right to the skin. So there's no blockage of the hair. So it doesn't matter if the dog has exceptionally short hair or super long hair, you rub it right through. So we see this all the time on the human side with products like this. And again, works for somebody with really short cropped hair and individuals with huge, for you, for me, for a woman in the back, it would all be good.
On one of the slides, you said that this was I'm going to use my terminology, like a delivery mechanism for a Zoetis medicine. Is that
right,
what I read?
So it's a delivery mechanism for any proven API, so a pharmaceutical ingredient that can be formulated in a topical space. We have chosen a specific glucocorticoid that has 35 years of proven safety and efficacy, it would complement the current Zoetis profile of systemic medicine. So Zoetis has an oral JAK kinase inhibitor called Apoquel and an injectable IL-31 called Cytopoint. The issue with oral medications is they largely should be used for large body surface area involvement, so let's say 8 to 10%. The problem is twofold. One, if you have a dog that may only have a hot spot of itching on a paw or an ear, do you really want to subject the animal to all of the side effects of a systemic medicine? Two, even if they're on Apoquel or Cytopoint, which are phenomenal drugs, neither one of them are 100% effective. So you may take a dog from 90% itching to 5% itching, but that itch in the right ear is still going to drive that dog crazy, and by translation, you crazy. And so the topical medicine is a complement to that.
So you're focused on the method and the concentration in the place rather than the medicine itself. The medicine itself can come from a variety of other providers, and you're a source for them to make it better.
Sort of. So not exactly. So we've developed a platform technology, but as a company, we have to determine which pharmaceutical ingredient we want to develop within that vehicle and get the approval for it. So yes, somebody like Zoetis could say, we have this great JAK inhibitor and we'd like to formulate it as a topical, and we could partner with them to take their API in our vehicle and develop it and go through the rigor of FDA testing for an approval. But it's not that you can take our vehicle and their pill or somebody else's and sort of mix them at home and do that. There is a defined development process like it is in human medicine from a chemistry side of it. The difference is it's in a shorter development pathway once it's formulated. But the notion of building the medicine, so I don't know if you've ever gone to the doctor and gotten a cream or a gel.
Properties.
Yes, it does. And that's sort of the key of what we're trying to put forth here. And so I'd be happy to talk about that afterwards.
Okay.
Sounds like the secret sauce to me.
Exactly. We're going to keep it secret as long as possible.
Exactly right. Oh, okay, same question.
So where are you? You put up your ask.
Yes.
Can you put that up again? Because you're saying fundraising. How far along are you with development?
So the product is fully formulated with both accelerated and 12-month stability. So we are ready to enter clinical testing.
So you have actual available product?
Yeah, we have available product and are ready to go. So and we've lined up the CROs who would be doing both our pharmacokinetic study as well as our first in species. So again, remember, this is an active that has demonstrated safety and efficacy in humans, and now we're working down the food chain instead of up the food chain.
Right, you're going through approval for this new intended use.
Right.
So your ask is related to funding this process?
Correct, funding the clinical studies.
Are there not grants available potentially for that?
There aren't. It's very, so there's a lot of non-dilutive funding that you can do for human medicine through NIH and NSF, but there's no real marker on the companion animal side. So
Wow.
USDA has some of the same types of funding grants through the SBIR and STTR, but they focus largely either on the ag side or the agricultural animal side. But
Got it.
companion animal health
Right.
sort of doesn't really fall in either category. And if you were doing an NCE, you could justify it because it'd be on the path to humans, but because these are already proven safe and effective in humans, there's no real interest. So the only grants you could find would potentially be with philanthropy. So that's, again, people who know that would be very helpful.
Your slide
Hold on
showed
just a
5.
second. Let's get you the microphone real quick. Thank you.
On your funding, the slide showed 500,000.
Yes.
You said 500 million, so maybe that was.
You did actually say.
Oh, sorry, 500,000.
That's a Joe Biden thing.
Yeah,
We
sorry.
assume- we
I didn't
assume.
want to be
Right,
We assume-
my memory is about as good as everybody else's.
So
500 million would be far excessive for that
Yeah.
process.
Thanks for pointing that
I
out.
wanna make sure that was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
caught that, but like,
Yeah.
well, we all know what you meant.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I take it, don't get me wrong. You know?
While, so, and the company's gonna be based here in North
Correct,
Carolina?
it's based here.
All right, so have you approached NCIDEA for one of their grants?
So I did, and again, it was too early for them. They couldn't, again, because they want to have something that can actually be in the commercial
Got it.
space within like 6 to 9 months, so it didn't quite fall on that. And also, the $50,000 didn't do enough for them to show some sort of traction.
Got it.
But I am in conversations with the Biotech Center.
Okay, very
grants from
good,
them.
very good. And what's the length of the studies, the CROs? Like, is this a 1-year process, 2-year?
So,
What?
so from start to approval, it'd be a 3-year process. So each one of these studies is somewhere between 4 and 12 weeks, depending largely on the speed of approval. So you would do a 4-week proof of principle study and about a 2 to 3 week PK study, but you'd have to get the dogs in, and then, as you know from clinical trials, finish the trial and then do all the data analysis and laboratory monitoring. So,
Good.
I was just gonna ask, so that's a 36-month timeframe to marketing the product, right?
right, to marketing approval. Right.
How does the cost of these veterinary clinical trials compare with human clinical trials?
It's about 250th of that. So the entire process to get a drug approved in the veterinary space is roughly $6 million, compared to $150 million for a similar type product in the human space, and about $750 million for an NCE in the human space.
Is that because dogs don't have lawyers?
Partially. They do require much fewer. So just for example, a pivotal clinical study for dermatologic in dogs is roughly 100 enrolled animals. A similar type product in human atopic dermatitis would be 600 individuals in the phase 3 alone. So let alone your 2A, 2B, etc.
You are patient people.
Human side is a challenge, which is why you hear all the things you hear about.
Exactly.
Anyone else?
I'll ask you afterwards.
All right, sure.
Because I have an idea.
Okay, great.
James, are you gonna add, yeah?
What's that?
Yes.
I'll do it offline.
One-on-one, all
Yes.
right, all right. Well, with that, Stefan, we thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
We want to thank you for presenting today.
Oh, thank
We
you.
want to officially love you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, with that. Any community announcements?